Serious, what lead to the most intense orgasm of your life? This guy just fingered me right while stimulating my clit with his thumb. It was the strangest build-up. I couldn't breathe, I felt like I was having a heart attack, and starting from my fingers and moving up my arm I was going numb. Then I came. I think I screamed. It made me cry and laugh hysterically. I had a cry-laugh-gasm. Thumb on clits are wonderful. Former girlfriend used to break into laughter after she came. I would laugh with her at the spectacle of the whole thing. When I was younger I used to sleep with this girl regularly in the back of the car. One time she was on top and I felt everything from my thighs all the way up to my chest start to contract and release with my heartbeat, getting faster and faster until one point I was basically shaking. Weird part was, no ejaculation. It lasted maybe 30 to 45 seconds and was the most intense pleasurable moment I've ever felt in my life. Not sure what it was or how to have it happen again, but yeah, amazing. Edit, alright, didn't think I'd get this many replies, but I'll update for a few questions asked. Drugs or alcohol weren't involved. There was no prostate stimulation. I was in a seated position, sitting upright, with her on top of me, facing me. Was your prostate getting stimulated? Few months of not doing anything sexual. That one moment was so satisfying. Lamau in 9th grade I overheard my crush saying masturbating was super gross. So I didn't touch myself for like 8 months. Then after we broke up I went straight for it. It was heavenly and I never let another person influence my right to rub one out again. Damn bro, that's some impressive willpower. That's nothing. I went 12 years without masturbating. Then I turned 12. Yeah, I did that for a month and a half. It came out like toothpaste. Needed more water maybe. Pretty sure it's a difference between the speed of reaching an orgasm and the speed at which your prostate can produce seminal fluid. The longer you stimulate, the more seminal fluid builds and the more liquid your ejaculate will be. But if you haven't ejaculated in a long time, that can drastically reduce the time to orgasm, thereby increasing the sperm to seminal fluid ratio, which causes for a pastier consistency. For men at least. I don't think there's only one that sticks out. The most intense ones left my entire body limp and buzzing like I had inhaled laughing gas at the dentist. It would feel like water was trickling through my feet and my teeth were buzzing. I can never speak after one of those. My uterus will almost get menstrual cramps afterwards. During it is like it will go on and on forever and all colors get brighter. My boyfriend doesn't understand why I don't always want an orgasm during intimacy. Sometimes it's nicer and just as pleasurable to just have intimacy and feel the endorphins afterwards. Those are like a well-proportioned meal. It fills you up and keeps you full and content afterwards, and you will feel hungry again the day after. Orgasms are like eating the every single dish at every single 5-star restaurant at once. You kind of need to recover for a bit after that. Edit, thank you for the silver, B. Holy crap, this meal thing are the exact words I was looking for. Now I can finally explain to my boyfriend why I sometimes like sex better without an orgasm. Back when my boyfriend and I still lived at home, I was spending the night at his house. We were in his room and things were heating up. He had me at the edge of his bed while he sat on a trunk at the end of his bed, just slowly fingering me and eating me out for what felt like hours. Everything was slowly building up and I felt like I was in ecstasy. Finally, he looked up at me and said, "I'm going to make you come now," and fully started eating me out while fingering me. That mixed with having to stay quiet because his family was in the other room was the most intense pleasure I felt. I was still orgasming when he effed me after laughing my butt off. Got tied up, blindfolded, edged, and then she carried on riding after I came for like 5 minutes. I'm pretty certain I was dead for part of the post-orgasm ride, but F me, did it feel incredible. There's been like 3 or 4 comments about the girl just using you to get herself off after you come and it being one of the best guy experiences ever. Putting it on my bucket list XD. I had a one-night stand with this woman while she was on top. I told her that I was going to come and she then proceeded to say I'm not finished. She then began riding me even harder. Even after orgasming I was rock solid. She rode me for a good 5 more minutes until she came and collapsed on me. I literally had tingling in my lips and toes like I was going to pass out because it felt like a continual orgasm that never stopped. I literally had tingling in my lips. Finally, something I can relate to. I think I haven't had this feeling since having sex with my first GF. I'm not convinced it was because she was very good or something. I believe that was because it was my first time having sex, so my body wasn't used to the intense feeling of an orgasm. It's just hyperventilation. You blow off CO2 quickly and make your blood less acidic. This narrows the blood vessels in your brain, and these are some of the symptoms. Ex-GF blew me, and after I came she kept gently sucking. I had what I can only describe as multiple orgasms. I don't think I actually ejaculated anything, but the sensation was the same but more powerful each time. I had to stop her because I was about to pass out. She had done that in the past and she did it after, but that one time was the only time that happened. It was the most pleasure I have ever felt. Interestingly, I saw an article on this yesterday. Men can have two different types of orgasms, a wet and a dry one. The dry one is really intense and almost replicates a female's orgasm. Most men don't even realize they can orgasm without ejaculating. I've been doing this for years. After I finish, I'll keep going and be able to orgasm multiple times with less or even no ejaculation. I thought it wasn't normal, so I'm glad that's not the case. Teach us the ways. I've been able to do it all my life. When I became lazy and gained weight, it disappeared, but I got it back. I think there's our three main attributes, for me at least: cardio strength. I don't mean become an athlete. However, the main thing that brought it back was 1.5 hours of intensive cardio a week. Upper leg strength. When I have been able to come as described, it uses a lot of leg strength and can cramp them. In order: inner thigh, glutes, then equal hamstring and quads. You have to be a bit of a degenerate for this one and truly want more. Just power through. This is the most complex and you're on your own with that one. This entire comment is anecdotal and in no way researched. Your results may vary. YouTube link. I've done it alone and with partners, but I have to admit the number one thing that prevents me from going for it is the post-nut clarity. Sometimes I feel like I want it before the first, and then after I just pause for a moment and decide to clean up and go to bed. Bro, my ex did the same thing. Nothing like them continuing to suck until my dick goes limp in their mouth. Perfect. Why did you break up? Edit. Stop clogging my inbox with hacky uncreative jokes. Depressive_anxiety? Right before college, I hadn't come in around 10 days due to a summer trip with friends sharing the same sleeping area. I got back to my place and instantly fell asleep, dead tired. When I woke up in the morning, my hands/feet were warm and tingly. I sort of stretched out in bed like a cat and got a sudden, very extreme pang of pleasure from deep inside me. Instinctively, I knew I was going to come. It was like that moment after passing the point of no return, but it just went on forever. It felt like minutes. Eventually, my whole body was pulsing in rhythm with my heart and alternating between hot and cold. It felt much more like what a female orgasm is described as, with a slow build-up and afterglow. It was different than any orgasm I've had before or since, even different than a prostate orgasm. It was like when stretching, I somehow accidentally activated the orgasm nerve. You probably had a coregasm. It's an actual thing. I need this core magic in my life. It was most likely was this. I can't climb ropes or do core exercises in public because of this. I mean, you can, you'll just get weird looks. Coregasm, a catchy, funny term for a very real phenomenon. It's when you experience a spontaneous orgasm while doing intense exercises that engage, or perhaps overtax, the core. For people who've never experienced this, it may sound great. Damn, Google got me dead to rights. I've never experienced it, and it does sound great. It could be great if you're in a good time/place for it. The first time it happened to me, I was biking in far from home, plus, college campus. I got a call from a classmate asking where I was because the final exam was about to begin. I apparently had the wrong date for the final. Anyways, I obviously started booking at full speed back to campus. I overtaxed my core and started having coregasm. It was weird. I don't know what exactly to call it, with every pedal of the bike. It might have been nice if I could have stopped. It would not stop and got intense to the point of being painful, too painful. For real. I had to stop for a bit to fully disengage my core, and then when I continued I sat seated rather than standing, mountain bike, and paced myself, so as soon as I felt it coming back I slowed down and didn't let it get intense. It effing sucked because I had to get back to campus ASAP, but my body was being a F up. This happened to me on a treadmill at the gym. Hit about 1.5 miles and beelined for the locker room before I made a huge fool of myself. Lol. Onlookers probably thought you were about to crap yourself. Honestly, I would rather that than them witnessing a knee-knocking orgasm that leaves me all stupid on the floor. Lol. Doctor, how'd you fall off the treadmill? I came. Doc, and what gym was this? I am going to devote the rest of my life learning how to achieve a coregasm. Go on? Wait, what? Crap like that happened to me too. I tried to fully quit masturbating, made it like 2 weeks into it, and then, literally while talking to my crush, as we used to, I think I moved around weird or something and I effing came in my pants. I was feeling very horny the entire day, and felt near orgasm, but I thought I was just crazy. Weirdest effing experience of my life. I felt so guilty. I told her, one of the weirdest discussions ever, and thank effing God she just laughed it off. Glad I'm not the only one to have had that happen. What the hell, _. Dude, same. I went on a trip with friends and didn't jack off for like 2 weeks. One morning my eyes shoot open at 7 a.m. and without warning I just start shooting off like crazy. The amount was unreal. I was also sharing a bed with my friend because we cheaped out on Airbnb's. Long story short, came home from the trip with one less pair of pants. Okay, I'm so glad I'm not the only one. WTF, dicks are weird. And also, I also shot like a effing machine gun then. Felt like I just effed a porn star, although I didn't feel much of anything. I just shot like hell. WTF. You told her? The mad lad. Back when I was in grade school I would shimmy up the bars to the top of the swing set while dangling my legs to either side until I would have an awesome feeling. I didn't realize what was happening till 15 to 20 years later, and I realized I wasn't just actively masturbating, I was also trying to teach my friends how to do it too. It's super effed up, I know, but I don't think I've had a better orgasm since. Edit, y'all are making me feel normal today. Edit too, except a lot of repliers think I'm a girl. I just commented this on another person's post. I did the same thing. Except I never made it to the top, haha. I had my first orgasm shimmying my way up and had no idea what happened except that it felt amazing. I told everyone I was too afraid of heights to keep going. That's dope. If we were friends back then we could have high-fived at the top. Yay, figured out how to put all my weight on my vaginal area and cause orgasms. Also figured out how to do it while sitting on a chair. Took a few years to figure out that we don't do this in public. This is super embarrassing, but I used to rub my clit, through my pants of course, up against my desk at school until I orgasmed. Now in 3rd grade, we had our desks pointed at one another in groups of 6 across the classroom. I'd get going under my desk and while orgasming, my legs would involuntarily twitch and I'd accidentally be kicking the person across from me. They'd be yelling at me, "Stop kicking me." And I'd just stare at them with a dazed expression until I was done and then murmur, "Sorry, geez." I knew a guy in college who told me that he first had that good feeling when he was changing in his sleeping bag at a summer camp. He thought that the only way he could achieve that feeling is by rubbing against his sleeping bag. He admitted that he effed his sleeping bag for years before realizing he could use his hand and get the same ending. Oh my God, I'm not alone. Hello stranger who also cannot look at horizontal poles without going, I was a weird child. In my mid-teens and probably the height of my adolescent horniness, I went to camp for a week. Didn't jack for a week. When I got home and was able to be alone finally, it was a blur. That's how it usually goes. Probably my first vaginal orgasm, as opposed to clitoral crap, was intense. Cried after. And cried after every vaginal orgasm since. Nothing weird, just hormone rush. I am still yet to have one, must be nice. I only have a vaginal orgasm when I ride my husband. It also helps if you have come a couple of times before that. Makes it more sensitive and more susceptible to a vaginal orgasm. Best advice would be to play around with different positions. Have fun, winking face. I've always had issue climaxing vaginally until about a year ago. My boyfriend, whom I've just met then, went down on me. I came once, then twice when he was inside of me. I'm having the best sex of my life right now. I'm 39, because of this little discovery. I'm 42 and my husband and I met when I was 15. We've had years of practice to get it right, and oh boy is it right. I've read somewhere that only 10% of women can orgasm with vaginal stimulation alone. The rest need some sort of clitoral stimulation as well. I'm 28 and I can count on one hand the amount of times it's happened. It's not a regular thing at all. Try yourself. Or with mechanical aid, watch this be the moment you're like, lol, I don't have a vagina. I've tried so many times, but I always end up using a vibrator on my clit during sex to get an orgasm. It's frustrating, I know. Keep at it though. I think I've only had it 3 times, and that's in the past 5 years, so they're as rare as rocking horse crap. I don't often have orgasms from penetration. My current sexual partner gives me one every single time and I cry each time. It's so intense. About a month ago, my fiancé and I got into a huge fight and broke up. COVID stress and lockdown stress got to us and we both lost our cool, then had really angry breakup sex, and it was the most passionate sex we'd ever had. We decided to work things out and stay together, and the makeup sex was 100 times better than the breakup sex. I've honestly never had breakup sex. What's it like? Do you just look at each other angrily while effing vigorously, or? It's very raw and aggressive since you assume it's the last time it's going to happen. Edit. Who knew one of my top comments would about hate effing? Lol. I don't get how the idea even gets raised. You've just broken up. In this case it was apparently after a blow-up and a nasty fight. I don't get the mindset that goes from there to, one last boink? I agree with you on this. I had an ex suggest breakup sex, which kind of made sense given we were stuck in a hotel room together in a foreign country and our flight wasn't until late the following day. Weekend holiday, 2-year anniversary, birthday trip all rolled into one, and then a breakup on the second of the 3-day trip. It hurt like hell to say no, to tell her I physically couldn't touch her because the grief and emotional pain was so raw and knew I couldn't process anything. So I completely get your point, but I also think people do weird things and everyone processes grief differently. Worst vacation of my life. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.